Hey guys, in today's video we will be taking a look at a game from the first round of the US Chess Championship. This was the only decisive game of the round, and it's the game played between Timur Gareyev and Jeffery Xiong. So Timur Gareyev was born in Uzbekistan and he now plays for America. He is famous for holding the simultaneous blindfold chess world record at 48 boards at a simultaneous exhibition in 2016. So Jeffery Xiong, on the other hand, is a rising star in the American chess scene and one of the top juniors in the world. So without further ado, let's jump into this game. Now the opening was pretty weird. Gareyev opened with knight f3, d5, c4, the ready gambit, d4 and b4 from Gareyev. So this move prepares to fianchetto the bishop, as well as control the c5 square, making it difficult for black to go c5 and strengthen his center. Jeffery played bishop to g4, intending to double the pawns. We have knight to e5, bishop to f5, e3, pressuring the center. And now knight to f6. And just on move 5, we have reached a new position. So d3 is tempting, but this pawn will then become a weakness. White can go queen b3. Queen f3 is also a possibility, hitting the bishop and hitting b7, and black cannot defend both threats. So Jeffery went knight to f6. We have g4 now from Gareyev, a very aggressive move, which can be taken advantage of. The best move for black is to play d takes e3. If the bishop is taken, then you play e takes f2 check, and queen to d4, hitting the knight and the rook. So after white captures back with f takes e3, bishop to e4, and now white cannot intercept with the f pawn. This provokes rook to g1. On first glance, white seems to be doing fine, having more space, as you can see, because of his advanced pawns. But black's moves come very naturally. Here knight b to d7, bishop b2, and e6, simply preparing to develop the dark square bishop, also threatening bishop takes b4, so a3 and a5, very logical. b5, knight takes, and now bishop d6 developing, bishop takes, queen takes d6. Black has a great position. He is way ahead in development. This king can safely castle on the king side. White's king, on the other hand, is nowhere to go and will probably remain in the center. So after queen to e2, defending the h2 pawn, black can convert his lead in development into material advantage with bishop takes, queen takes a3 with a promising position. So d takes e3 could have been played, but Jeffery played bishop to e4. The difference here is that white now can go f3. Bishop back to g6, bishop b2, putting pressure on d4, so we have d takes e3, knight b to d7. Black decides to keep the queens on the board. We have knight takes g6, h takes g6, so we have an imbalanced position, one where white has more space, and the two bishops, but black is reasonably solid. And black's king is much safer compared to the white king. So white also has to be careful about overextending in this position. Gareyev continued with knight to c3. We have e6, c5, meeting the threat of bishop takes b4. So now a5 can be played, but Jeffery plays the move c6. Also very logical, preventing white from going c6. And now Gareyev plays g5, and this is very provocative. Gareyev was probably hoping for Jeffery to enter into this line, where black would give up the knight for two pawns, but black definitely has compensation in this position. Instead, Jeffery goes for a safer approach. He goes knight d5. So we have knight takes, e takes d5. White now has to deal with the threat of queen takes g5. Gareyev played f4. So instead of f4, h4 would have been a better move, giving white the option of tucking the king on f2 protected by these pawns. But instead, f4 was played. Another drawback of this move is that it gives up control of the e4 square, and Jeffery pounces on this immediately with the move queen to e7, now attacking e3 and preparing to land a queen on a nice central square. So Gareyev played queen to d2, protecting the e3 pawn. We have rook to h4, threatening to play rook takes f4 as this pawn is pinned. So queen to f2, defending and attacking the rook. And now queen to e4, attacking the rook on h1. And if bishop g2, then queen takes b4 comes with check. So Gareyev played a3. We have queen takes h1, queen takes h4, and now a5, attacking the overextended pawns. Although the computer thinks that this position is equal, this is in fact much more difficult to play with white, as black's plan is crystal clear. Black simply wants to achieve this b6 break and make use of his majority on the queen side. The engine gives the best move for white as castles queenside, but somehow this feels dangerous with the a file opening up. In the game, Gareyev played queen to f2. We have a takes b4, rook takes a1, bishop takes, and now queen to e4, re-centralizing the queen and attacking the b4 pawn. So bishop c3, and now b6. With this move, black is now significantly better. White has no way of adding extra protection to c5. If he plays pawn takes b6, that leaves b4 unprotected, b6 is going to fall as well. So Gareyev played king d2. B takes c5. This is now very unpleasant for Gareyev. If he captures the pawn, then the knight becomes active. Knight takes c5. So Gareyev tried b5. But here Jeffery played the move c4, cutting off the bishop, and now threatening to play queen d3 check. Black stands much better in this position because of its extra passed pawn, and this queen on e4 is just a monster. This is now just a matter of converting the advantage into a win. Gareyev played queen to e2, queen to b1 from Jeffery, attacking the bishop. Also with ideas like bishop a3, queen c1. Gareyev played bishop takes d7, king takes, queen to g4 check. Jeffery blocks with the queen, h3, and now king to c6, unpinning the queen. Preparing to march the king over to the queen side to support the pawns, and at the same time threatening the move queen d3 check. Gareyev played king e2. Jeffery can now play queen d3 check and win the bishop, but that would allow white to infiltrate with the queen, which would complicate matters, so Jeffery plays king to b5. Now bishop d4, the bishop is secure, but Jeffery trades the queens, and this ending is now easily winning for black. So now king to d2, bishop c5 offering an exchange, bishop takes g7, king to b3, f5, e3 check, king e2, and c3. In this position, Timur Gareyev resigned. Impressive victory from Jeffery Xiong. I think the key mistake from Gareyev was allowing Jeffery access to the e4 square with his queen. So I hope you enjoyed this game. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching and have a great day.